Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Winter coats again this morning. Our temperatures are hovering right at or just below freezing. I'll show you why we could have a little bit of a warm up this afternoon.
Protecting the community. Neighbors in the 5 Points area of Raleigh are concerned about safety after the murder of Zoe Welsh. The guidance from officers to help people feel safer in their homes. Impact of federal cuts. Today we'll learn more about how funding cuts to SNAP and Medicaid benefits might affect your family. A response from county leaders adapting to that change. Good morning, everyone. At 4:30, we're so happy to be with you. No change for our forecast. Grab that heavy coat as you're about to head out. Let's get back over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
Yeah, temperatures are cold out there again this morning, looking at 30 in Roxborough, 29 in Southern Pines, 32 in Goldsboro, and 30 in Rocky Mount. Just like yesterday, our skies are nice and clear. It was a beautiful day yesterday, just chilly. You know, one of those days you really want to have that jacket or a coat handy. Skies are clear here as we look over toward Gardner across Wake County, 33 degrees, and our winds are nice and light, but we are seeing a light breeze in some places, and that means we do have a bit of a wind chill. So it feels like 24 in Southern Pines, 27 in Fayetteville, feels like 27 in Rocky Mount, and 26 in South Hill. So that takes us back down to about where we were yesterday. Our 24-hour temperature change, just a few degrees warmer than yesterday, but not a big change. It'll feel very similar. Lunchtime temperature 53. That was about our high yesterday. We could climb all the way to 60. Now today looks like it could be one of the warmest days that we see in the next 7. Our next weather maker is a front that comes through late Wednesday into Thursday. We'll talk about why it's looking drier and drier coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. We're trying to learn new information about 2 crashes that happened overnight in Raleigh. This is video from the scene of Falls of Noose Road near Litchford Road around 2:30 this morning. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker spotted an SUV and pickup truck with damage. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker also on the scene of a crash near Capitol Boulevard and Thornton Road around 11 last night. You can see a pickup truck and a car with heavy damage. We've reached out to Raleigh Police for more information about both crashes. Neighbors in the 5 Points neighborhood say they're concerned for their safety. This after a Raleigh teacher, Zoe Welsh, was murdered in her own home. WRAL's Ali Cadlebar outside RPD's Southwest District headquarters this morning. And Ali, police met with people last night to address their concerns.
Again, in that meeting, Raleigh police say that they are actively working to make that 5 Points community feel safer. Now, about 40 people gathered on that virtual meeting, asking Captain J.R. Manson at least a dozen questions about safety and protection. He shared guidance on how to prevent your home from becoming a target and what to do if someone breaks in. The meeting comes just over a week after the murder of Zoe Welsh, a longtime science teacher at Ravenscroft School. Police say Ryan Camacho is accused of breaking into her home on Clay Street and killing her January 3rd. Manson says officers are now doing regular patrols in that area.
We are here to help heal this community, and we want you guys to feel safe. We are dedicated to that. My officers want that. I want that. It's just our mission.
Now, people in that meeting also asked questions about the nearby homeless encampment, bus stops, and lighting in the area. Manson says to contact him with any concerns. You can find a full list of all of the guidance that he shared on WRAL.com. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Cadlebar, WRAL News.
Well, today we will get more information about how federal cuts to Medicaid and SNAP benefits will affect people right here in North Carolina. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live in the state legislative building this morning. And Kelsey, millions of people in our state rely on these programs every day.
Kim, they sure do, and today we'll get a deeper understanding of how federal funding cuts to Medicaid and SNAP benefits could impact you and your family. Conversations will be happening here in the legislative building later today to shed new lights on what these cuts actually mean. More than 3 million North Carolinians are on Medicaid and 1.4 million receive SNAP benefits. President Donald Trump signed a sweeping tax and spending bill last year that cuts funding to both programs. His plan cut 20% of funds for food stamps. That's the largest cut to SNAP benefits ever. That's all according to analysis by the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Trump's plan also slashes Medicaid by $1.2 trillion. Today, county and state officials are scheduled to give presentations on how they plan to adapt to all of these new changes. So our NC Capitol team will be following these hearings today. Check out WRAL.com for any updates. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
State elections officials will meet today to take up politically contentious plans for early voting. Most counties in the state have bipartisan early voting plans that want unanimous approval from local officials. But political fights have arisen in a few counties, including Cumberland, Harnett, and Hope counties. Those include efforts to eliminate Sunday voting, get rid of campus polling places, and other changes. They're up for debate today, those issues. You can follow along with the updates online at WRAL.com. Jury selection begins today in the trial of Isaiah Ross. He's accused of murdering 2 teenagers in Orange County. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of Lyric Woods and Devin Clark. The teenagers were found dead on a remote ATV path in September of 2022. Prosecutors offered Ross a deal to plead guilty to second-degree murder, which he rejected.
All right. So let me ask you, Mr. Wallace, what is your decision about whether you want to accept or reject the state's offer?
I would like to reject the offer, ma'am.
Well, prosecutors told the judge they plan to call the victims' parents to testify. Jury selections begin around 9:30 this week. New developments in the turmoil in the town of Cary leadership. State Auditor Dave Bullock says he has found possible criminal activity involving the former Cary town manager, Sean Stiegel. We've done more than a dozen stories on the questions surrounding Stiegel's spending. In an interview with WRAL, Bullock says his investigation uncovered several transactions on a company card that could indicate fraud. He says his office is now working with the SBI and the district attorney's office. Bullock was not able to share a clear timeline on when we may learn more. We've reached out to Sean Stiegel several times for comment. We have not heard back. Well, the mayor responded to the news from the state auditor's office, saying in part, the state auditor has raised concerns about potential legal violations by Sean Stiegel that we take very seriously. Once presented to us, we will review the auditor's findings carefully and will partner fully with any additional investigations. We've covered this story for weeks, by the way, including the actions to Stiegel being asked to resign, the pledges from the interim town manager, and how town council members are reacting. You can find all that coverage on WRAL.com and on our YouTube page. A Durham man is charged with DWI after police say he crashed into an officer's car while under the influence. This all happened around 6:30 last night on State Highway 55 in Cary near Green Level Church Road. Police say Grayson Dixon hit the patrol car during a traffic stop. The Cary officer was outside the vehicle at the time during the crash and was not hurt. President Trump says he is imposing a new tariff on any country that does business with Iran. The president announcing the 25% tariff yesterday, saying the order is final and goes into effect immediately. The Trump administration has not said how long the tariff will be implemented, though. The tariff could make goods from China, a major trading partner for both the U.S. and Iran, significantly more expensive to import. This comes after the nationwide crackdown in Iran has left more than 500 protesters dead. Police say they have 2 juveniles in custody after rocks were thrown at moving cars in Wake Forest. We spoke with one of the people whose car was damaged. She says she drove under the railroad bridge on Roosevelt Avenue around 3 o'clock on Sunday morning. That's when several rocks hit her windshield. She shared a picture with us showing how pieces of the windshield scratched her glasses.
Parents have to teach their kids, grandparents have to teach their kids that life is precious. And you don't play roulette with other people's lives like that.
Officers say the rocks hit 2 vehicles. No one was seriously hurt. We reached out to the Wake Forest Police Department to find out if the juveniles will face charges. Well, this morning we're hearing from the mother of a teenager who was shot in Granville County. She said her 17-year-old son, Julian Stovall, faces a challenging recovery.
He's in critical condition today. They've placed him on a ventilator. He's got his left lung collapsed. He now has fluid in his right lung, and his vital signs are stable, but he's in very, very, very critical condition. He's so pitiful.
Julian Stovall was shot outside the Family Dollar store on Stovall Friday night. Another person died in the shooting. Julian's mother, Lee Ann Warford, you just heard from her, says her son cannot feel anything from the chest down. There's a GoFundMe page to help raise money for his recovery. North Carolina leaders are pushing back against proposed federal changes that could limit what we know about toxic forever chemicals in everyday products. A state report shows the chemicals are in more than 300 drinking water systems statewide. The current rule is designed to show what kind of PFAS companies are using and how much. Proposed changes from the EPA could exempt nearly all businesses from reporting that data. Emily Donovan says chemicals dumped from the Chemours Fayetteville Works plant contaminated her family's drinking water. She says access to data is critical to protecting public health.
Being able to track where the PFAS is coming from is one of the first steps in our ability to be able to protect ourselves from exposures.
North Carolina is already suing chemical companies over PFAS contamination. State officials say access to reporting data could determine how future enforcement and cleanup efforts move forward. It's a Western Conference matchup tonight in the NBA right here on WRAL. The Oklahoma City Thunder hosting the San Antonio Spurs. Tip-off at 8 o'clock tonight. Time now 4:40. Synagogue set on fire. A man is charged with arson after intentionally burning a place of worship in Mississippi. The new surveillance video showing the crime. And safety in snow. A group of Colorado skiers caught in an avalanche. How experts say you can protect yourself in the mountain when it snows. We'll give you a live look now as we head into a break. Rocky Mount Mills this morning. Temperatures climb today ahead of another strong cold front this week. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is showing you why winter weather odds are still low despite the cold to come.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44 on this beautiful clear start this morning. So we have the top of the tower lit in blue. Our temperatures are cold again, very similar to what we saw yesterday. Lots of 20s and 30s on our graphics this morning. 33 in Durham, 30 in Holly Springs, 30 in Fayetteville, 28 in Roxborough, 32 in Garner, 30 in Cary, Rocky Mount, and Wilson. So very much similar to what we saw yesterday. Definitely want to be out with a winter coat. You'll see the kids at the bus stop with their coats as we dip into the upper 20s here around the triangle this morning. By lunchtime, we're back to 53, which was our high yesterday. And today might end up being the warmest day of the next 7 at 60 degrees. Because what happens next is a front that comes through late tomorrow night. That's not going to bring us much rain, but it will bring us colder air. And I'll take a look at that coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, thanks. Happening today, Raleigh City Council will get an update on the Triangle Bikeway project. The Mobility Infrastructure Plan hopes to connect the Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill metropolitan areas. The Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization will make a presentation about the project as it moves into the preliminary design phase. Today's work session is this afternoon at 4. The Apex Peakway North widening project will not get federal grant funding this year. The plan would widen Peakway from Center Street to Old Raleigh Road to help ease traffic as the area grows. It's still in the design phase and needs funding to move forward. Town leaders say they'll keep pursuing options to advance that project. In Cumberland County, the 32nd annual Martin Luther King Jr. Parade in Fayetteville will be postponed. It was originally scheduled for January 17th, but organizers are citing safety issues as a reason for the postponement, but they did not specify what those safety concerns are. A new date has not yet been announced. New video shows the moments leading up to a man setting a Mississippi synagogue on fire on purpose. Investigators say this video shows Stephen Spencer Pittman pouring gasoline inside what he called the Synagogue of Satan. He's now charged with arson. They say he confessed to lighting the fire because of the building's Jewish ties. Pittman also reportedly laughed as he told his dad what he did. Investigators say his dad later turned him in.
Attack against the synagogue is an attack against all of us.
A congregation spokesperson says no one was inside the temple at the time of the attack, but at least 2 sacred prayer scrolls were destroyed in that fire. Walmart teaming up with Google in an effort to use artificial intelligence to change the way you shop. The partnership was announced at the National Retail Federation's annual Big Show in New York this past weekend. It will allow shoppers to use Google's AI assistant Gemini to find and buy products from Walmart and Sam's Club. The companies did not say when the new shopping feature will launch. I want you to take a look at this video caught by a group of skiers in Colorado. The group was skiing and split boarding when they triggered an avalanche on the side of the mountain. As the snow slid down, one person was caught. That man dislocated his shoulder and was briefly buried by that snow. My goodness. Experts say the skiers knew what they were getting into on the steep chute.
So they kind of knew what they were getting into and just made, a small error in how they were going to manage that terrain. But it does illustrate that, small errors can lead to potentially bad outcomes.
Well, the other two skiers in the group were not injured. The group says they hope the video helps to educate others about the dangers of avalanches. Now let's bring in meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And Elizabeth, you lived in Colorado and you're familiar with those mountains and the dangers of avalanches.
Exactly. Anytime you go out of bounds, you're really in danger of getting caught in an avalanche. There's a lot of training that those people do that go into the backcountry. There's a lot that you can learn about avalanches. But just like the guy said, I mean, a little error, they knew what they were doing, but a little error can cause a lot of problems. Things are pretty quiet for us here this morning. And I know that a lot of people out there are wishing for snow. I am. I know a lot of you aren't also. And we had a couple of just like hints that we could see some maybe Thursday and maybe again over the weekend. And those hints are just out of here as we're getting closer to those dates. Right now it's 33 degrees and we have light winds. We'll probably dip into the upper 20s as we get closer to say 7 or 8 o'clock this morning. Right now it's 28 in Roxborough and 29 in Southern Pines. We're 30 in Rocky Mount and Goldsboro, 30 in Fayetteville, 28 down in Clinton. So it's a cold start for us this morning. And the Triangle, 30 in Holly Springs, Apex and Cary, 28 in Chapel Hill. Ooh, look at that in Clayton, 24 degrees, 28 in Fuquay Varina. Our temperatures are close to where they were yesterday, anywhere from about the same to maybe 4 degrees warmer in some places. The afternoon will be a little bit of a jump, about 5 degrees to 60 in Raleigh and Durham and 61 in Fayetteville with sunshine and relatively light winds. It should be a nice, comfortable day. But our cold front that comes through Wednesday is looking drier. The big thing that we'll see out of this is colder air. That purple shaded area, that's some Arctic air that'll come into our area on Thursday. Thursday's going to be really cold for us. And then another round as we get into the holiday weekend. That's 5 o'clock on Friday. We get into, say, Saturday behind that front and into Sunday. We see a big swath of colder air coming in and possibly another one even Tuesday next week. So we're going to get a lot of rounds of cold air pushing in. It'll also be breezy. Some gusts this afternoon up to 25. Same thing Wednesday, but windier and really cold on Thursday. Thursday's not going to be a comfortable day to be outside. Our normal high is 52. We hit 60 today, but then 44 Thursday and 42 on Friday. And check out those overnight lows. Our normal low is 32. Friday morning down to 20, which is one of the coldest mornings that we've seen really so far this season. Our afternoon highs kind of bounce around a little bit, but Sunday and Monday as we get into the holiday, highs will be in the mid 40s. We'll talk about the small amount of precipitation we could see with this coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, thanks. Hollywood battles. Taylor Swift is rewriting the charts and top films are going head to head this award season. We'll show you what's happening in entertainment. Also, Mary J. Blige in Sin City, how the artist is spending her summer in Vegas. Well, Taylor Swift is finding new ways to break ground on the charts. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
For all her success, Taylor Swift had never had a song top the Billboard Hot 100 for 10 weeks until now. The Fate of Ophelia is the first of Swift's 13 career #1 hits to spend double digits at the top of that chart. One battle after another is in yet another battle with Sinners. The films lead this year's Motion Picture Sound Editors Awards nominations with 3 apiece. The 73rd Annual Golden Reel Awards take place March 8th in Los Angeles.
You will never find the one piece.
My friends. Together. There's nothing we can't take on.
Luffy and the Straw Hats face off against a secret society of assassins in the official teaser for Season 2 of One Piece. The pirate adventures continue when One Piece Into the Grand Line sets sail March 10th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Oh, lots going on in Hollywood. Well, Mary J. Blige spending her summer in Las Vegas. The singer announcing a residency at Park MGM in Las Vegas. It starts in May with 10 dates that go through July. This marks the first Vegas residency for the Grammy Award-winning performer and actress. Legendary martial artist Bruce Lee is being honored by the U.S. Postal Service. He will be featured on a new Forever stamp. Lee is known for inspiring generations to explore the world of mixed martial arts. The new stamp features Lee doing his famous flying kick. Well, the 10th annual North Carolina Chinese Lantern Festival welcomed nearly 250,000 guests this season. This season's attendance surpassed last year's. Organizers say visitors came from all 50 states and 8 countries during the 8 weeks of the festival. It will return in November with a new collection of lanterns. I saw it with my family. It was spectacular. Ahead at 5, protecting in the community. Neighbors in a Raleigh neighborhood on edge after the murder of Zoe Welsh. How officers are hoping to help people feel more secure in their homes. And today we'll learn more about how funding cuts to SNAP and Medicaid benefits could affect your family. The response from county leaders adapting to the change. Also ahead, hazards on the stove. Chemicals from non-stick pans can lead to some chaos in the kitchen. Bobby Nassad shows you the safest cookware options.